We are gathered here today to talk about Amberlynn Reid and her specifically cycles that she goes through, and if you find yourself trapped in your own cycles that are similar, probably not exactly the same, but similar. I felt that I was in that boat, and I've lost 130 pounds now. And I think that sharing these like tips and tricks and things that I've done to lose this much weight could be beneficial or helpful to someone else. So I wanted to make a video about it. If you don't know who Amberlynn Reid is, I will put in some clips. I'm sure most people who click on this video know who she is, but if you do not, here's something. I'll put something here or somewhere or over this for you to see so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
My name's Amberlynn and I wanted to start a YouTube channel for weight loss.
This video is 8 years old. Wow, what a sweet, shy girl. With this channel she created for weight loss, I sure hope she reaches her goal and by now is a healthy weight. Oh. How and why has this girl gained this amount of weight, despite starting off as a weight loss channel? Well, it all boils down to one quite simple phenomenon. See, if you've been a viewer of Amberlynn for more than, let's say, a few months, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The ever so iconic Amberlynn cycle. Eat, weep, retreat, repeat. The cycle of losing and gaining the same weight has had a hold on Amber for years now, and you just can't seem to break out of it.
Last week I weighed in at 368.0. I did not come close to losing 3 pounds. My goal is to be out of the 350s, and I am super excited for this, and I really want it to happen because I know I will probably gain, I want to say about 3 pounds on my vacation. For someone my size, I'm going to accept that, allow that, and just be okay with it. I'm currently not on track. I got the cake batter frozen yogurt with gummy bears and cheesecake. Alright, ready for it? The fact that the scale wasn't reading me because I reached 420 again or around there really, it absolutely hurts. I have decided to completely just wipe clean every single pound I've already lost, starting completely fresh. I need to do better. Welcome to the first episode of Operation Curvy Calories. Operation Curvy Calories.
Done something for a few days, and once that initial excitement is gone, so is her will to continue. Now that she's a few days into her plan, the excuses start coming through. No more taking accountability, no learning from her past failures. She simply shifts all the blame to the most random things.
Normally I would say welcome to Operation Curvy Calories, but I feel like Operation Curvy Calories is under construction, if you will. No, I was doing the blue plan, but that allowed like beans to be 0 points and eggs and chicken, like everything healthy with 0 points. And I know super pumped, and I'm gonna watch a TV show while I eat this and numb all my feelings. So here I go. I have Twix, I have Snickers, I have a caramel, Simply Caramel Milky Way, and a regular Milky Way. I'm about to go to my bedroom, stuff my face with this, have candy, which I'll show you, while watching one of my favorite TV shows. So it is what it is. Okay, so today is January 27th, day 27 of weighing in for 100 days. So here it is. weigh in for you guys. I am gaining weight, even though I started Weight Watchers, because I feel like at night I'm kind of binging on McDonald's. By the way, I was super snacky last night, so I'm not expecting a loss.
Hello, it's ready. 507.0 pounds.
I was 507.0. This is a perfect example of how yesterday was a gray area, because it's like I told myself several times to stop snacking. Times where I was like, let me just have one more. Let me just have one more little snack. I was a little snacky. I gave in a little here and there, but it was nothing like crazy. I
want to also say, I am not going to be talking about any of the controversies or terrible things. This is only about the weight loss and cycle aspect of health and weight loss and fitness and those kinds of things that I've worked on for my own personal growth that I think could help someone else. It's not about every other thing. And if you've been around for the lore since 2016, like I have, or longer than that, because I think she's been on the platform since 2014, if you know the lore, that is not what I'm going to be talking about today, but that could be a whole other video in and of itself. And there are a lot of really talented and good creators on this platform who have made those videos themselves. But if you want me to cover it, I will cover it. I also want to put out a massive disclaimer that I am obviously not a professional, not a medical professional, not a doctor, none of those things, a nutritionist. This is just advice coming from an autistic woman on the internet who had a cycle of EDs and being severely underweight, being severely overweight, gaining, losing for over 10 years. And I feel in the last couple of years, I have just really made a huge breakthrough. And I want to share that information with everybody else. So here we are today. I hope you're doing well. I hope if you found this video, you enjoy it or you find it helpful. And if you do, consider subscribing. I have no subscribers on this channel yet. And on my first channel, Autistic Gamer Girl, I'm trying to get enough to live stream, dual stream Twitch and YouTube. So if you have any interest in video games, I play all kinds of games, cozy games, scary games. I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley and Manor Lords right now. So if you have any interest in that, or you just want to hang out and you can ask me any kind of question, or we can talk about weight loss or whatever, it always ends up coming up somehow, mostly from me bringing it up on my stream. So if that's something that you would enjoy also, you can follow me over there. Yeah, so let's just get right into it. Number one, and first and foremost, get the help that you need. This is the first step in changing your life and changing your lifestyle and changing your health and fitness and weight. If you want to do that, all of those things, start with a professional if you need one. I know that Amberlynn Reid has been through a lot of traumatic circumstances from childhood, and so have I. I found myself very stuck in this cycle of self-destructive behavior, and I think therapy, even though I had a terrible therapist, I think having therapy and kind of getting to look in on myself and see the issues that resided in my own head and my own heart and my own trauma that I had not dealt with. I think it was the biggest and first step that I had to take to actually solve this problem that I was having. I have an analogy. It's the tool belt analogy. I'm not sure where I got it. I'll search it before I post this video, and I will link it if I can find it, like the actual source of it. But essentially everyone is born with a tool belt, okay? You're born with a tool belt, and other kids, other people are given tools as they grow, different tools for different things to become a functioning human being, to function in society, to take care of themselves, to take care of others if they have to do normal person things, okay? Then there are people who are not given those tools, which I was obviously one. And then there's the whole factor, in my opinion, I added this to the analogy myself. There are people who are born with tools that they have put in their tool belt. Some don't get tools, but also I feel as though some of us are not only not given tools, but right from birth, it's like we're born into a 10-foot hole that we have to climb out of with our own hands. And then once we emerge from this hole, we have a broken tool belt. And when we're given tools, they're not good things. They're toxic. They can be manipulation. They can be self-destruction. They can be blaming yourself for things, especially if you had a narcissistic parent or two. Or if you were bounced around from house to house or lived with different family members, you can be given tools that are not helpful and not constructive. So you already have this broken tool belt that you have to stitch together with some makeshift like bullshit thread, and you're not good at sewing, and you somehow get this thing around your waist, and then every tool that you're given is not helpful to become a functioning person, a fully fledged like human being, you know. That is the analogy I kind of base my trauma off of, and how I feel realizing that and forgiving myself, getting the help that I needed, telling myself that my childhood trauma was not my fault, but that there were things that I developed because of it that were my responsibility now to deal with. I feel with Amberlynn Reid, she could benefit a lot from that, but at the same time, she's claimed to be in therapy for a long time, and I have kind of my own hypothesis on this entire scenario, because I feel as though if she's getting therapy, as she claims, then she could be going into it not being fully honest, not being honest about the toxic traits she's inherited from her traumatic childhood. And when you aren't upfront with yourself about the toxic traits that you have developed and how they affect yourself and others, you cannot start to change your life if you can't even admit your faults. You know what I'm saying? It's the first step in figuring out why you are in this cycle that you're in. And I think if you don't take that first step, you could maybe be successful in weight loss or getting your health together, but there is such a huge risk of going right back to where you were, gaining all the weight back, being unhealthy again, all of those things. So first and foremost, I want you to know that if you went through a lot as a child, if you have a childhood like mine or Amberlynn's, the biggest thing to remember is that it isn't your fault. You didn't ask to be born. You didn't ask to be treated the way that you were treated or traumatized the way that you were. None of that is your fault. But now, as an adult, it is your responsibility to figure it out, to get the help that you need to move forward. That's your responsibility at the end of the day, and you can move on, and you can make yourself what you want to be. You always can. And I just want to make sure that you know that. Second, after the therapy, you need to find your reason why. Mine was an incredibly intense health scare. I started working in November of 2022, and I had not worked in 6 years. I was a stay-at-home mom, which financially is completely impossible now. So I decided to go and work with my husband. And when I first started that job, I was at the heaviest weight I had ever been, which I think was about 300 pounds. I think definitely if you look at this picture, how did I do this? There it is. It's cute to see when I do this. Oh, very cute. You can see how dark my fake tan is on my hands. Anyway, so if you look at this picture of me, I look like I'm 300 pounds. And it was so incredibly painful to do anything, to move around in my bed, to go to sleep, to walk around, to go up and down stairs. All of those things were incredibly difficult, painful. I was always out of breath. I felt terrible, mentally and otherwise. And the month before I got my job, I got a heart monitor that I had to bring home and wear for a month. And every single time, even with this heart monitor, they could not find a single problem other than I have like irregular heartbeat. What is that called? Tachycardia. I'm tachycardic. But there was no cause other than my morbid obesity. I feel like my doctors didn't want to tell me straight to my face that the problem was my weight. Maybe to spare my feelings, or because of the climate that we're living in where people feel as though they can't talk about their own health or weight in relation to each other. But all of these things are very much related, and it's proven, factual, it is real, and I experienced it first person in real life. I was dying. I feel like I was dying. At 25 years old, I felt close to death at 25 years old. I am 4'11". I cannot be 300 pounds. There's absolutely no universe where that is healthy. And if you look at Amberlynn Reid, who kind of sits at 5 and a little under 500 pounds, it is so incredibly dangerous. I believe I've watched content on her for so long. I believe she's 5'2", possibly. I know she's on the shorter side, but I think 5'2" to like 5'5" or something along those lines. Either way, her weight is dangerous, and she knows this. And obviously, a serious health scare did not convince her to break the cycle, and I believe that starts where I mentioned before, with therapy and not taking it seriously and not being honest with yourself. And I think, honestly, victimizing yourself in every situation, which is no offense to you, Amberlynn Reid, it's a coping mechanism that you develop in childhood when you have such a traumatic childhood, maybe narcissistic parents, to be the victim in every situation. And I have personally been a victim in a lot of situations and a lot of traumatic events. And I felt as though I had lived in that victimhood for a long time. And when I chose to turn it around and take my health seriously, I made myself a survivor instead of a victim, and my mentality changed so much. Like, you can get through those things and find your reason why. If it's not health related, maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your partner, maybe it's, I don't know, even if it's something that seems so minuscule to you, you want to be wearing this certain bathing suit by summer, or you want to not be winded when you walk up and down the stairs, or you want to go to this event and you want to wear this dress, and all those things. Any reason that you have is valid. It doesn't have to matter to anyone else, and it doesn't have to seem valid to anyone else. It is your reason why, and that is why it's important. A big point as well is to stop comparing yourself to other people. I think that social media is so incredibly toxic, especially to women and young girls. Stop looking at the baddies on Instagram and thinking that you can look like that. She had a BBL, sis. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. You could lose all the weight that you need to. And trust me, like, I am very happy with what my body looks like right now, because I still have features that I had. And if you don't like certain features that you have, you can do strength training and things to target certain areas and try to, widen your shoulders out in the back so that your waist looks super snatched, or Do a lot of glute exercises in different parts of your glutes to make your butt more rounded and more full and whatever. Those things, even hip dips, I think can be fixed with like strength training in certain areas. So all of these things are things that you can work on. If in the end you end up wanting surgery, then more power to you, girly. It's not my choice. I personally would not. I'm definitely getting loose skin removal surgery and like a breast lift and stuff when I get to my goal weight, but I still have like 60 pounds to lose, so I'm not really thinking about that right now. But if you do those things, don't feel bad about it, first of all. But to my original point, do not compare yourself to other people. You are not them. They are not you. You don't have a personal chef like some celebrity you want to look like so bad. You don't have, the same face structure. You don't have the same body. You're not the same height. You're not the same. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you're not the people on the internet. I feel like Amberlynn also has a huge problem of taking other creators or other influencers and kind of just trying to adapt their personality, which is why I feel as though she'll cycle through trying a fat or crash diet for a day or 3 and then give up. And it's because she is not that person. She can't just start eating freaking bacon and eggs for every meal and start doing keto for no reason. It's just, it doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So when you compare yourself to these people who seem perfect on the internet, which most of that is, as I said, surgery and Photoshop. Those things are not real. They're just not real. And if you keep looking at all the baddies on Instagram, you're going to think you're the most hideous piece of shit you've ever seen, okay? Don't do that to yourself. You're too good for that, okay? You're a goddess. Feel it. Own it. Okay? My 5th point is if you have an addiction to fast food or ultra processed food, I want you to, say you eat it 7 days a week. Cut it down to 5, or even cut it down to 6. And do that for a few weeks, a month, whatever it takes, and then cut it down another day or another couple days, and do that slowly over time until you stop eating that garbage. And know that it is not just not good for you. It's like literal poison. And it used to be so delicious. So trust me, I know what you're feeling like, I think with the fast food thing, I never really had that issue because I can't afford it. But with Amberlynn Reid, she's got a lot of disposable income, and you see her ordering takeout constantly. And if you're doing that, maybe just try to order something healthier 1 day a week and then cut 1 day off. Little things like that over a long period of time will help you so much in the long run. Because you can't just cut everything out in 1 day. It is not realistic and it's not sustainable. And if you do that, you're going to torture yourself. And this is not what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be misery. It's not supposed to be torture. You are supposed to have fun with it. And that brings me to my 6th point, which is make exercise fun. If you're going to start exercising, first of all, start slow and small. Start walking. If you're not very mobile at the point that you're at, start walking. Walk from your front door to the end of your driveway. Walk from your front door to the mailbox. Walk up your stairs in your house 1 or 3 times, Do small things over a long period of time, and every week or so up it. Like walk from your door to the mailbox twice, like little things like that, or walk up your stairs 5 times instead of 3. I think it's so important, especially when we're super morbidly obese or morbidly obese, to take it so incredibly slow. And also know that the most important thing above exercise, which being mobile is incredibly important. Cardio is so good for your heart and all your other organs and those things, but diet is kind of at the top of literally everything. And with diet, you want to just try to get in as much nutritionally dense food that is good for you. Get a good amount, like a plate, right? You want to section it with a lot of veggies, That's what I do. It's really easy. And then a good amount of protein and maybe some fruit and a good carb. Like I have white rice. I have white rice every single day. And it's a little bit easier for me, I won't lie, because I am autistic and ADHD, and I can eat the same thing every single day if I love it for like a year. I can do that for a very long time. I know that most people can't do that, but find food that you love, that is delicious, that is nourishing to your body, and make that what you eat. And if you are obviously, as I said, on a diet like Amberlynn Reid's, take it so incredibly slow. So slow. 1 day a week or one meal. Do not try to just immediately switch over to eating like that immediately. It is not realistic. It's not good for you. And once you start eating that nutritionally dense and well-rounded meal, you are going to start craving those things. And I know it sounds crazy. It really does. And it sounded crazy to me 2 years ago. But it eventually, I want things like broccoli and rice and all of these things that I dreaded eating before. I want those things. So I promise eventually you're gonna want those things. You're gonna crave them. Number 7, this is also pretty specific to Amberlynn Reid and to myself now that I stream on Twitch and I make content here on YouTube. But I think it can be said for anyone even on your Facebook or personal social medias, and with people in your real life, your friends and family, people that are close to you. If you have people around you that are not rooting for your success, that are, maybe it's little digs or little things that they say that remind you of where you once were, or that they just seem to tear you down with little things every time that you're up, they want to bring you back down. Hey, what's up? Editing Rose here. I wanted to pop in and tell you a little story time, okay? Because I had a friend when I was deep into my ED. I was about, I think, 97 pounds, which is, listen, it's like healthy for my height, so they say, but for me, it was very low. It was the lowest I had been since I was a teenager, and I was starving myself to get there and stay there, right? And I had a friend who was in the 400s who would constantly make fun of me for my weight and would pick on me and say nasty things when I was eating food, if I ate food. And she knew that I would go throw up. We would eat food together and then I would purge. And she would call me fat all the time and make fun of how much I ate. And she was more than twice my size. And she did that. And I kept her around for way too long. Okay? And then I had other friends that just thought I was the fat, ugly friend, that they could bring me around to look better to boys. And you know what's funny about that? Is no matter what, they still thought I was funnier than them. Doesn't matter how big I am, bitch. I'm still funny. So fuck you. Anyway, that was all. Those things, get those people out of your life. And if you are going on a weight loss or health journey or anything, you don't have to tell anyone. You can keep it to yourself. I think a big mistake that Amberlynn Reid makes, and she says it all the time, she always says after a few days of like weighing in or a month of weighing in, she'll say, it's actually not good for me. And then it's like, well, don't do it then. If you're going to be in control of your diet and your health and all those things behind the scenes, nobody has to know. You don't have to tell them. If you think that your interactions with people or your comments are going to be incredibly negative, stop, for one, reading them. For two, stop sharing that much. There is no issue with moving in silence when you're doing something for yourself, something personal. It can stay personal. And then people around you that care about you, that love you, they'll notice. I've had so many people. I saw an old coworker last week And she freaked out when she saw me and was just like, oh my God, you look incredible. Like, that kind of stuff is so nice. And I don't have a single social media outside of what I use for content creation and streaming. Those are the only social medias I have because I hate social media. And even on the Instagram that I made purposefully for my like brand or whatever, I don't scroll on there because I'm not trying to see all that stuff. I'm not trying to see the baddies and wish that I was one of them. Okay? You don't have to share your journey with literally anyone. If you want to and you think it's good for you, do that. If you don't, stop. Like, no one is making you do that. And if it helps your mental health and your journey to keep it private, keep it private. There is no issue with that at all. Number 8 is to not think that it's about willpower. This is going to be a huge point, callback to my mention of therapy. Therapy is so important. Getting a primary care, getting all these things. If you have to jump through the hoops to get Medicaid or government assistance or whatever you have to do to get that kind of help, do it. I know it's a pain in the ass. I know nobody wants to sit on the phone. Nobody wants to fill out paperwork. I get it. But if you want to make this journey, you have to do these things. If you need the therapy, if you need the primary care, all of those things, you need to jump through those hoops to get it done. And once you do, know that it is not about willpower. And if I might give you a suggestion, Andrew Huberman is a scientist. I can't remember what classification of scientist, but he's incredible. And second, there's a book called Atomic Habits. That book is fantastic. It is not about willpower. It's not about the fact that you lack willpower. It's about the fact that the food industry has marketed every single thing, made everything ultra processed. So not only do you want it, but then once you have it, you can't stop. That's the whole point. They want to sell this garbage food to us. So don't think that it's about your willpower. It's not. They're making food that genetically messes with your brain. I don't think genetically is the term, but you know what I'm saying. That stuff messes with your brain to get you addicted to it. It is not about willpower. It's about the bullshit chemicals they're putting in our food. It has nothing to do with your willpower. It doesn't make you less than. It doesn't make you a failure. It doesn't make you any of those things. So Andrew Huberman, Atomic Habits, fantastic. Another thing I would say is Bria Jones on YouTube, who taught me so much in the last month about doing things that serve you, doing things that are good for you, taking care of your mental health, taking care of your body, all those things. I'll link her channel right here because she is a beautiful human being inside and out, and the things that she says are also beautiful, and I just love her channel. Watch her channel, please. Oh my God, it will change your life. Anyway, number 9, we're getting to the top because I only have 10 for you today. I think I might go on a random tangent, but we'll see. Number 9 is about focusing on the process, forgiving yourself, and learning how to love yourself. Those are such important things to do. You need to make yourself micro goals if you need a goal in mind, but do not say, I want to lose 100 pounds in 3 months. That is completely unrealistic and you are setting yourself up for failure. If it happens, fuck yeah. Like, you did that. That's great. Healthfully, if you do it healthfully, and I should preface with that, but don't set yourself up for failure. And for the position you're in right now, you need to forgive yourself. You can fix it. If I can fix it, you can fix it. Like, I had no hope in myself a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I have struggled with EDs, binge eating, all of those things, being severely underweight, being severely overweight, on and off and on and off and back and forth since I was 12 years old. If I can do it at 25 to now I'm 27, you can do it. I promise you can. Okay. This might be the controversial take. I'm getting kind of spicy. Can you believe it? Okay. Number 10 is avoid Health at every size or body positivity at literally all costs. Do not engage, do not befriend, do not allow these people to befriend you, because oh my God, they are the most hateful people I've ever seen. That is not to say people that claim to be body positive and are incredibly positive towards everyone. I'm talking about oh, this is gonna get me in trouble or yelled at. Who knows? Whatever. I don't care. Listen, I am one of you, essentially. So I feel as though I have permission to say this, but fat white women, fat white women, especially on TikTok, are so incredibly toxic. Get away from those women, especially when you see them using people of color to like boost up, and people with disabilities. Like, oh my God, fat white women, you need to do better. Like, you need to do better, dude. I mean, you tell everyone to do better. The mental gymnastics that you have to do to hate people who are smaller than you or different than you is insane. To then, when you get criticism for it, you turn around and you say, well, you wouldn't do this to a minority or someone who's disabled. And it's like, what? Like, did any of those groups ask to be included in your bullshit rhetoric? No. So, like, shut up. Like, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I am so tired of fat white women. I'm sorry. We need to do better as fat white women, okay? Like, I don't get it. And then when people leave the health at every size movement, it is like they bring out their torches and pitchforks and they're ready to fight. Like, they're ready to damn these people. They send their toxic audiences to go harass them and things. These are not good people. Do not make them your friends. Do not let them into your space, into your mindset. Do not let these people into your brain, okay? Don't let these people control your thoughts. All that they're doing is finding misinformation online and cherry picking it and then sharing it to the masses as if it's fact, and it is not. It is the complete opposite of fact. You can find the facts incredibly easy, and the facts are being morbidly obese means early death and cancer and diabetes and all these things. And all of these things run in my family because a lot of my family is overweight. Like, these things run in a lot of people's families too, or people like me were born and chubby as a kid and then it just spirals out of control, okay? Like, you need to stay away from that space. Do not put yourself in that space, okay? I'm serious, and I don't care what and I don't care what fat white women want to say to me. If you want to yell at me in my comments, you can. I don't care. Like, I don't care. I stop spreading this hateful bullshit on the internet and then getting upset when you're wrong, because most of the time you are, and being like, well, you just hate me because I'm fat. No, dude, no. And the reason I started this conversation about Hayes, first of all, is because Amberlynn isn't directly involved, and I think she's like spoken out against it before, but there's always little tiny seeds of things that I feel like she just pulled out of Hayes' stuff. Like little things that she'll say. If I can find some kind of evidence, I will include it, but I don't know that I could. That is all I have for you today. Just 10 things. I know it's not a lot. I know that there's probably so much more that I could think of if I gave myself probably more time, but at the same time, I've mentioned before, but I am autistic and ADHD, so it's hard for me to focus on things and remember things, and it's been increasingly difficult in the last few months. I have to they think I have celiac disease, so I'm going through testing for that. And then I have PCOS and endometriosis and adenomyosis because of the endometriosis, and now I have to get a full hysterectomy. So I'm a little scatterbrained most of the time, but I did really want to put this into a video and get it out and see, I guess, where it goes. And as I said before, if it helps anyone, I'll be absolutely stoked. So that makes it worth it in the end, you know? Also, I really hope that if Amber sees this, or if anyone who can relate to the cycle that the girls seem to just rotate through, it does not have to be forever. I want you to know that. The cycle does not have to last forever. You can break the cycle. You really can. And if you love yourself enough to get help and take that help and really use it to better yourself, you can only succeed. Genuinely. I broke the cycle of underweight, EDs, overweight, binging, purging, etc. back and forth, over and over again for years. When I finally decided to take my mental health seriously, I had a massive breakthrough in the last 2 years. You don't have to change everything all in one day. It's not realistic, it's not helpful, and it's probably not going to happen. Small changes over a long period of time make a huge difference. Even though it doesn't feel like it, even though it feels like it takes forever, I promise you will get to where you want to be by the end of it, and it will be so worth it. Even though I miss my Diet Coke so much, you have no idea. I went and I got help. I found out I have PCOS and endometriosis, and my endometriosis has a friend named adenomyosis, and that I have celiac disease. And just since February, I've lost 35 pounds. Being bedridden some months with my medical issues even, because my diet stayed on point the entire time. Like, I want you to know the weight has been falling off. I run and walk. I mix it together, so it's kind of like sprint on and off, but I do that 5 days a week. I could not do that. I couldn't even think about doing that 2 years ago. I've lost over 100 pounds at this point and focused on myself and put in the work and built love for myself, and you can do that too. You can. You have to want it more than anything, but it is possible. It is. Amber, specifically to Amberlynn, I want you to know that no matter what, you're a person. No one wants to see you pass away. No one wants to see your struggles with the cycle and weight and health and all these things end that way. No one wants to see that. It doesn't matter how people feel about you, or if they claim to hate you, or your haters, you know. None of those people want to see you pass away. No one does. You're in your 30s now, and I'm almost in mine, and I just want you to know that it's not too late. And if you're also older or younger, and either way you feel as though you can't do this and that you can't make it and you're gonna die before you're 40 or any of those things, I want you to know you can change those things. You can. You just gotta put in the work. Anyone watching this, it is not too late. It's never too late. And you can do this. You're an absolute boss-ass bitch. You're a goddess. I don't care what your gender is. You are a goddess. Okay, sis? You really are. And you need to start treating your body like the temple that it is and treating yourself like the goddess that you are. And I'm not kidding, okay? I want you to know that you can genuinely do anything that you set your mind to. You can. You just might need some help to get there, which I did. And there was nothing shameful about that at all. Even if you end up having to get weight loss surgery or any of these things, these are just tools to get to where you're trying to go. And that's completely fine. It's fine. No matter how you get there, you will get there, and you will be so healthy and so satisfied and so happy, and you will feel the best that you've ever felt. Even right now, I still have 60 pounds to lose, and I feel incredible. Like, incredible. I look in the mirror some days still, and I look at my husband and I say, I don't recognize myself, because I don't. I look in the mirror and I'm like, who is this? Like, I look completely different. Maybe I'll pull up some more photos so you can see. I look completely different. I don't look like that person anymore. Even when I competed in CrossFit, I'll put more pictures. I competed in CrossFit at one of my highest weights, and that was so foolish because all I did was eat to make up for all the calories I was burning, so I just gained weight, and I had a shit ton of muscle. I did not win the competition, but I finished, and that's huge for someone who's 240 or whatever I was at the time. But I don't remember where I was going with that. But I just want you to know, it might seem impossible right now, but it genuinely is not. It is incredibly possible, and you can do it. I believe in you, and I'm here. I am not like a super famous streamer or anything, and you can comment something and I will respond to you. Like, you can add me on Instagram or something and we can talk about how good you did today, or like how you're doing, you know, those things. I will respond to you. We can be accountability buddies if you want. Like, I will do those things. If you just need someone to like bounce the stuff off of, you know, I'm here and I will respond to comments and everything. So if you're here and you watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. Please consider liking the video and subscribing. It would mean so much to me. And I appreciate you a lot. And do not forget that you are a goddess. Goddess. Goddess is a gender neutral term now. You are a goddess. Don't forget it. Love yourself. Bye.
I feel like I'm 20 years older than I actually am. And I have 4 kids that I have to chase after. I have a 4-month-old right here who's very cute. I will not show her, but just trust me on this. She's very cute. And I need a hernia repair surgery. I'm in an immense amount of pain every single day from these 2 hernias that I have after my pregnancy with my 4-month-old. And I cannot get this surgery until I drop at least 50 pounds, and I might have to drop some more after that. I need to drop it in general, but I mean before the surgery I might have to drop more than 50. So I am done allowing myself to be this weight and to weigh this much and to eat the way that I do. And I'm done telling myself that I don't have the time between taking care of 4 kids and running back and forth from sports and doing all the things that I do as a mom. And I'm going to make myself a priority. Even though I love my kids and they're obviously my priority number 1, I have to take care of myself in order to take care of them. And I'm not doing it, and it's manifested in where I'm at physically right now. And I've seen it all catch up to me. At 24, I feel like I'm 50. Like, my knees hurt from getting up off the couch. It's ridiculous. I competed in a CrossFit competition 2 years ago, and you would never know that looking at me now. It's embarrassing. It's like shameful that I've let myself get this bad to where my health is being negatively affected, and I can't let my kids think that that's any variety of okay at all. And if I can feed them healthy food, if I have them on their plate like a fruit and a veg and a protein, why am I not doing that for myself? It just doesn't. It's like I'm harming myself for what, you know? So I am making a promise to myself today, March 18th, 2022, that I'm going to lose the weight this time. I'm going to lose 150 pounds. I'm going to get into a safe range for my height and frame and age. I just want to feel my age. I want to feel like I was in high school when I could run and play sports and do all these things. And I want to be able to chase after my kids and not just feel tired and fat and just like in pain all the time. And with all these medical issues, like I'm killing myself slowly, and I can't do this to myself anymore. And today I'm done, and I'm promising myself that, and I'm promising my kids that, and I'm promising my family and anybody else that I know, my husband, that I'm done doing this to myself. And I'm going to lose the weight this year. 2022 is the year. I'm going to lose it, and I'm going to document all of it, and it's going to be ugly, and it's going to happen. And that's all.